Perception management and dungeon programming are the two main branches of Saturn cult, engineering your reality. This is purely a philosophical and theoretical matter, but how do we practically change our reality, taking back our power? You will ask. Well, this world is not what you think it is changing together with consciousness. Cleaning up inside of a paradigm is not the way forward, the whole structure, the whole system has to go. It was rotten from the beginning. Reality is not logical, linear, or static in any way, only our dogmatic and logical description from science says so. Science itself is a pure air-to-earth perspective, where only that which is measurable and provable are taken into account. Reality is to be found in source, the inside, the fire and water of Jupiter and Neptune. What we measure and describe in the outer is merely the effect, not the cause, and this effect is in a phase of a constantly changing appearance of pure phenomenal nature. The traditional description of reality is a logical and shallow artifact that works as a map or a single frame taken from the full reel of a running movie. There are no objects, the only constant is change. The world is more of a verb than a noun. All is a flow, Jupiter. As your inner structure starts to change, your outer will as well change. There is a critical mass where a sufficient amount of individuals have broken free and taken charge over their own inner dynamics, where the collective narrative will crumble. The manifest world is the sum of all human beliefs, thoughts, values, emotions. As it is now with Saturn cult ruling the show, it follows the structure of the machine metaphor, and it serves as mean for the small group of so-called elites to be our kings or even gods. What the age of Aquarius offers is a world where unity by diversity is the theme. Aquarius with Uranus as ruler is about individuation and a strong urge for breaking any conditioning that originated in Saturn. The two energies of Uranus and Saturn are like cat and dog. Don't focus on the outer, focus on the inner, which is the only dimension you can control. The outer is time and space, it is a construct, it is Saturn, and he has hijacked the well of consciousness, read Neptune, by separating you to a degree where you no longer trust your own senses and where you are in conflict with yourself as well as with everyone around you. You have been air-conditioned, like Pavlov's dogs, and you get triggered by a bell. The only way out of this is to know thyself and align your energies in a function where flow is maximized while control/structure is minimized. The weakest part of our moon is that it demands familiarity, it will only accept that which it already knows. The moon needs to recognize everything that enters the home, the mother won't let any strangers inside. The clever Saturn in Capricorn, who is in an opposition to the moon, works by the motto I use. Saturn cult has exploited the full solar system, each celestial body is examined and exploited wherever it shows a weakness. All energies are absorbed into the black sun/the black cube, who functions as a filter and distorts anything to fit its own narrative before it's allowed to express itself, just like with any of our musical artists and their managers. The weak ones seek security, identity in the collective, in the consensus of the herd, living in a fabricated reality. Actually, the whole element of air/thoughts are based in fear, as an opposition to love that originates and only thrives in nothingness. Air/thoughts is a derivative of water, an abstraction of the real genuine life on the inside, the water/emotions, which is per definition consciousness itself in its pure form. The weak search for security outside of themselves, in the theater, in Saturn's domain. While the brave seeks contact with the moon, their inner child, to make a transformation from being a person, a low-level consciousness, to become an individual. An individual have a whole universe inside of himself, and he can't be air-conditioned since he drinks from his inner well, and are in contact with the divine and don't need the few drops of water that he'll be distributed from above. The moon rules the sign of Cancer, with roots in source, the nurturing mother, a feminine energy that offers inner security. Through taking care of your moon, you'll be able to create a home inside of yourself that will support you in the now, the only time there is. Your ego mind, left brain hemisphere, is always based in time, which is Saturn. As soon as you tune into the past or the future, you are centered in and identified with the collective, a construct/artifact. If you dare to go beyond your inner child and center yourself even deeper, you'll identify with Pluto, who rules the sign of Scorpio. Pluto deals with your soul's deepest obsessive desires. Through observing these desires, you can access the core of your soul and be able to understand where it is on its evolutionary journey towards experiencing completeness. The obsessive desires of Pluto reveals your deepest drive, and if you align with these energies in your everyday life, you'll quickly integrate transmutation of opposites into the core of what is you. Pluto weaves together opposites in a dialectic pattern. Thesis and antithesis will be integrated into you as a synthesis, and you'll quickly make spiritual progress as you unite with nothingness, which is the same as everything. Living with Pluto as the center of your being, you will quickly transmute into a high-level spiritual being, as Pluto is the abyss in itself. From here you can only achieve one further level, and that is by connecting to your crown chakra, which is transcendence, Neptune, the god of the sea. This level can only be reached by a few, and it's not a state where you can stay in and have any human interactions whatsoever. You can't identify with pure Neptune on a daily basis. The experience here is that of deep transcendence and can best be described as a deep dream state.